This week, City News has told you about two separate and troubling incidents of alleged bullying at schools. The violence at St. Mike's, which you just heard about right there, and this incident here behind me that has captured international attention, showing a Cape Breton teen with cerebral palsy bullied by his classmates. We've decided not to show you the disturbing video for its graphic content, but tonight we look at how anti-bullying advocates are fighting what they call an evolving problem in hallways.
I just had combined it with this idea of boys will be boys, and it's part of the rite of passage to be a member of these types of teams.
Jean-Paul Bedard is one of several former St. Mike's students who shared their stories with City News this week. What he once believed was just an initiation ritual as a student athlete, he alleges was really sexual violence. His story and several incidents in Canada this week are reopening the conversation on the culture of bullying in schools. One of the most tragic examples in recent years, the death of 15-year-old Amanda Todd by suicide following extreme bullying. This week being Bullying Awareness and Prevention Week, these teen actors who say they were bullied at one point in their lives are part of a campaign that will be traveling across Canada to try and help.
Bullying is changing in the way that it's recognized, and so all the things that we were saying before, like we've accomplished some of those problems, but new problems arise with new, social media.
So talk to me about the issue really, and do you think it's getting better?
We're trying to focus on social media and how you can stop bullying not only in real life but also on social media, because it's so easy for people to be mean online without having to show their face.
Totally,
yeah. So that's why bullying is still really relevant.
What do you say to parents, or what do you say to people who say, oh, this is just kids being kids?
I think that's a cop-out, to be honest.
Yeah, and there's so much we can do. There's no excuses. We have social media. We have all these different platforms, all these different people that can educate these kids.
The Canadian Institutes of Health Research, which is funded by the federal government, states that out of 35 countries, Canada ranks 9th for having the highest rate of bullying among 13-year-olds. And at least 1 in 3 adolescent students said they were bullied recently. The organization Dare to Care, which focuses on bullying prevention, says 7 out of 10 youth drop out of organizational sports by the age of 13, largely due to bullying. The group is targeting sporting organizations and bystanders, or what it calls the silent majority, the ears and eyes in locker rooms and hallways who don't take action.
I think that culture of silence, what we call a code of silence, still exists quite strongly, especially I would say by the ages of 9 or 10 and up. It becomes increasingly challenging for students to come forward and speak to a caring adult, whether it's a parent, teacher, or coach, in that regard.
As part of Bullying Awareness Week, which kicks off today, both Josh and Alexandra will be visiting 3 schools in Canada, 1 in Toronto tomorrow and 2 others in Calgary and Edmonton. They'll be documenting their experiences on social media. Now, according to one Canadian organization, only 4% of bullying is reported. Coming up, I'll tell you why that number is so low.
It's the bystander's responsibility to tell somebody. And I mean, if you find yourself being bullied as well, it's great to tell somebody. But if you see it, I think that's the most important thing, is tell somebody that you trust, and stand up to,
standing up for others, because then it creates a community where everyone is standing up for each other and eliminating bullying.
These 2 young actors are getting set to visit schools throughout Canada to talk about the power of speaking up for those who can't, and in many cases, those who don't. According to Dare to Care, an organization that mobilizes communities to take action against bullying, only 4% of bullying is reported.
I think it's partly because sometimes the students don't know how to report. And I think also the other piece is oftentimes that, again, that culture of that code of silence is very strong, and they're worried about the social sanctions around being labeled as a snitch or a rat. The voice of the bystander, that silent majority, is absolutely crucial, because essentially by being silent, one is being complicit in allowing that behavior or that kind of language or behaviors to continue and be perpetuated.
Dare to Care Canada says it's crucial for parents to have conversations about bullying the same way they would about other issues like strangers, drugs, and alcohol.
It has to be one of those things that they are comfortable talking to us about, because what we know is that if a child isn't coming to a parent or a caring adult to speak to it about, they're speaking to their peers, who have as little life experience as they have, or they're going online, which of course has its own host of concerns as well. So.
Josh and Alexandra will be visiting 3 schools in Canada, including one in Toronto, Calgary, and Edmonton these next few days as part of the annual Stand Up campaign during Bullying Awareness Week.